So why do I drink whole milk and always have? For skin glow. And I want you guys to consider it too. Whole milk is actually back in US schools for 2026. That's not a trend, it's now policy. As a kid growing up in Canada, I recall milk time in schools. You remember that? Had a bag and a straw and you push that in and maybe it would spray everywhere. And you'd say, oh, that was a mistake, but you're really trying to spray the neighbor sitting at the desk next to you. But that was indeed whole milk. So when someone asks why I drink whole milk now, here's my answer. I'm not drinking it because it's cute. I'm drinking it because it's one of the most efficient, boringly effective nutrient delivery systems in the grocery store. And that's inexpensive. And yeah, milk is typically fortified as well. In the US, the most common form of vitamin D, particularly added, is D3. D2 is cheaper, so most people in different foods like cereals, they'll cut corners and they'll add D2 or on vitamins, but there's D3 in milk. Skim milk is basically milk with fat removed. So you're changing the delivery vehicle, not just the taste. I always like to look at this. It's a refresher on percentages in case you're drinking different things. Whole milk, 3.25% milk fat. 2% milk is 2% milk fat. 1% is 1% milk fat. And skim milk is under 0.5% milk. Now, you're going to say, well, what's whipping cream? I like that. Well, that's at least 36% milk fat. And here's something I didn't realize. Tell me if you knew this one. Whole milk pricing, $4.37 per gallon. 2% milk, $4.31 per gallon, about the same. But when you go down to 1% milk, it's cheaper, much cheaper. It's $2.89 per gallon. Skim milk is $2.89 per gallon as well. Heavy whipping cream, per pint, it's $3.29. So it's very expensive. Here's the point. Fat is valuable, not only for our face, but it costs more. And they realize that. So milk fat is the most expensive component. Dairies sell the separated fat when they sell you the low-fat milk for other products. So the remaining skim milk can be obviously sold at a lower price and it's still profitable. That's why all of that happens. But understand, yes, you pay a little bit more. But now the real question, why whole milk specifically? Reason number one, and I'm going to go through 5 in total. Milk components have real skin data. Yes, real data. We do have human trial data in humans, not a petri dish, that milk-derived ceramides improve skin hydration and barrier markers, even wrinkle appearance, over 12 weeks versus placebo. I'll go through that study at the end, so those who want and like the deep dives, you can stay till the end. Those that want the quick hit, will do that now. Your time's valuable. I don't want to hold you hostage if you don't like science. But it proves milk-derived lipids can influence the skin physiology in human beings, which supports the biological plausibility of dairy as more than just calories. Number 2, protein that your skin can actually use. Your skin is a protein and lipid organ. We talked about that especially for the neck. Collagen, elastin, and keratin. It's all construction for your skin strength. Just one cup of whole milk has 7.7 grams of protein. That's not a beauty claim, it's raw building material. Now, if your diet is low in protein, your body will prioritize survival tissues over glow. Translation, your skin gets the leftovers. You don't want that. You want an abundance. Number 3, whole milk is a fat-soluble vitamin strategy. Milk naturally contains and is often fortified with vitamins tied to skin, barrier biology, and especially the vitamins A and D that are in there. But here's the part that people ignore. They don't think about this part. Fat-soluble vitamins are absorbed with dietary fat. So anytime you're taking fat-soluble vitamins, you want some fat to help the absorption. Whole milk keeps the carrier with a C, not the barrier, but the carrier, intact. Skim is like removing the moving truck and expecting the furniture to show up anyway. No, you're missing the carrier. Reason number 4, the vitamin D detail that really matters, it's D3, not D2. So if you're using milk as a vitamin D source, the form does matter. Most commonly, I said, it's D3. And when you compare D3 and D2 in studies, D3 consistently raises blood levels more than D2. It's why I use K2D3, the D3 part, in my K2D3 supplement. D2 is much cheaper to use, but not as effective. And so many of us are D deficiency, including me. I'm in my labs very low, despite being in the sun. Reason number 5. Whole milk is more satisfying for people. Whole milk isn't a weight loss hack. It's not magic. It's just what? More filling for many people than skim. Because you're not stripping out the fat. You feel fuller longer. Satiety matters. In a controlled study, whole milk didn't change how much was eaten at lunch compared with skim milk. But here's the thing. It did increase fullness later in the morning. So if you're a chronic snacker, that fullness gap, it really does matter. Same thing at night. Here's a downside risk, a little bit. Acne risk in the wrong person. Not for most people, but the wrong person. So if you're acne prone, you want to listen to this because a large systematic review did find that dairy intake is associated with a little higher odds of acne, and milk specifically showed increased odds, including whole milk, yes. So if you're breaking out, milk may well be the gasoline on a spark. In that case, just lay off the milk a little bit and see if you do improve. Now here is that interesting study on milk ceramides. Previous studies have shown that milk ceramide, MC, protects against photoaging in ultraviolet B irradiated mice. Thus, they conducted a 12-week randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical study to evaluate the skin improvement and the efficacy of those milk ceramides. The participants were women aged 30 to 65 with crow's feet. Those are the ones here. They were randomly assigned to receive either the milk ceramides, 600 milligrams a day, or a placebo for 12 weeks, 3 months. The participants' degree of wrinkles around the eyes was analyzed by expert graders. Additionally, changes in parameters related to skin wrinkling, moisture, and elasticity, so bounce, they were measured. Now, in the milk ceramides group, the wrinkles and roughness index around the eyes significantly improved. After the 12 weeks, that group who received the milk ceramides showed significantly lower transepidermal water loss, and that occurs a little more when estrogen goes down, so it's probably more important to get those fats after 40. And there was a higher skin moisture, and here it is, elasticity. That elasticity index was increased. The placebo group, they didn't enjoy that. We all want elasticity. No serious adverse events, of course, were observed, but you can see that is a much higher dose than you're going to get from a cup of milk, but it gives you an idea. So there's much more to milk than ceramides, of course, but ceramides are a component, and of course, you'd need many, many cups of milk to equal this. But my bottom line, whole milk is a concentrated package. Protein for structure, fat for delivery and hormones, fortified vitamin D, which most of us are low on. If your skin's dull, dry, or tired looking, don't only micromanage your serum lineup, check the inputs. Milk is an input you want to consider. You now want to watch this video all about red light and one down here on hydration for your skin. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.